There you go. I was wondering.
Yep. So how did everybody's month end?
I guess I'll go first. Mine went pretty strong. How about everybody else? Same.
Mine went well. No complaints.
It's the end of some classes. I know that. Does anybody know when is summer break?
I think it's at the end of June into July.
It was after this class, this next class.
Might be. Yeah. I will pull it up and have it ready for next meeting.
I can't wait. That's
because when I was looking at the calendar the other night, I thought it was the end of July.
Oh,
Might be.
So we still had 2 classes left. I know they like fit it in between classes, but you know, online it's only like 1 week.
Yeah, it's a blur. It just all blurs.
Mm-hmm.
But it will be much appreciated. I know that.
Oh
For sure.
yeah.
I think we get a small break with the 4th of July, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I don't remember last year. I think all we had was like 1 week for summer and then 1 week for winter.
Maybe.
Stephanie, are you in graphics as well? Graphic design?
I'm in media communications, but I am kind of dabbling in certain graphic design projects and stuff. So it's kind of like a mesh of a lot of things. So I can kind of like, I have a lot of experience with like either topic.
Oh, gotcha. Cool. So you, when do you graduate?
I'm summer 2023, so I have a little over a year left.
That's awesome. I'm just trying to get know new people. Sam, what about you? You in graphic design or?
I'm not. I'm actually in media communications as well, but I do some volunteer work at some local organizations, and so I've started learning more about graphic design and photography, and doing more work there. So I've incorporated into my own life of photography and food blogging. So.
That's awesome.
Food blogging. Oh, so you're the perfect person for this. Check this out. Okay, so I took this picture in the grocery store the other day, and I was like, I'm going to share this during our next social hour. And just to give y'all's thoughts, here you go. Boom. What do y'all think about that?
I'm not sure. I guess the person that go ahead.
That looks interesting.
That is mustard ice cream. If y'all don't know who Grape
It's mustard ice cream. I was thinking.
I'm trying to imagine it. Like
Grey Poupon is Dijon mustard. It's like the dark, like bitter mustard, and they made ice cream out of it.
Wow.
Wow.
My first thought was Beauty and the Beast, try the gray stuff. It's delicious. And that is not what it's going to be, I don't think.
I guess I caught it because, you know, I'm an older fella, and Grey Poupon there used to be these commercials back in the day where it was all Grey Poupon was like the sophisticated mustard to use or whatnot, I guess. And but yeah, I was walking through the grocery store the other day and I saw that, and it kind of turned my stomach a little bit. So I was like, I've got to get a picture of that. Alternatively, let's see what else I got here.
That's pretty wild. I wouldn't expect to see that like anywhere.
Right?
Is that the same company that made the mac and cheese ice cream?
It might have been. It might have been. You know, I heard about that before.
Okay.
I didn't see it there. They did have some other weird flavors, but here's one that's a little better. That
oh my gosh, I have to try. I have to try that.
That was my reaction as well.
I would eat that. Love nutty bars. Oh my gosh, I grew up on those.
I'm glad you didn't react that way to the mustard ice cream.
I know that.
That would have been a little concerning.
I don't know.
I'm a honey mustard person, but I'm not gonna have the ice cream though. But
like, who is that for? You know, who is buy mustard ice cream? I don't understand. Some marketer out there didn't do their job, I don't think, because I don't know who's going to buy that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's to each his own.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, summer break's coming up. I know everybody's excited for that. I am so excited for it. I just actually was on vacation from my day job last week, so I'm just coming off of that. And now I get to have a break from school. That would be great too. But you guys have any hard classes this? Did you guys have 2 classes this month or 1? That's a good question.
I have 2 this month.
I had 2 too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it comes and goes. Like every now and then they'll hit you with 2 classes.
Mm-hmm.
I think they design it to where like the same months, like we have, no matter what degree program you're in. Because I've asked that question before to people that are in different degree programs, and we all have 2 classes the same months. So that's interesting. You know, I think they do that on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like this month, I had professional.
Do you guys have,
What was that, Sam?
y'all that had 2 this time, do you have 2 this next month as well?
I haven't even looked, honestly. I need to, but I know I had 2 this month, so I hope I don't have 2 next month.
Well, I just wondered because I had 2 this month and then I have 2 next month as well. So I'm like, oh, wow, okay.
Back to back.
Don't tell me that.
That's rough.
I can't stand the two classes a month thing because I work a lot, and I already go to bed till I already don't go to bed till after 2-3 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
I think that's one of the craziest things with Full Sail is how busy they keep you. Like I've been a stay-at-home mom most of my first year, and with husband being in the military and everything, it's already chaos for us because he's a maintainer. So his shift changes every single week to whatever they're running the actual jets and everything on. So he can only work when they're not running. So that's been chaos because my little one likes to switch his sleep schedule to match dad's, or so he can pick on dad. So then my sleep schedule has to change. And if I'm doing homework, I typically work on homework when they're sleeping. So I'm not missing getting to spend time with them, and I can still keep up with the house and do what I can for everything else. So that's been crazy. And then with everything happening with him in finance, I'm getting a job to try and help out financially and stuff with the family. And so I just got done with concepts in photography. So that class I thought was a challenge, trying to get the photographs and stuff with the lighting, with the timing, with scheduling and everything. So now starting work and everything, I'm amazed how you guys have been keeping up with Full Sail, working and doing all the homework and everything and managing sleep. I'm like, how do y'all sleep? Because I barely sleep. And starting work, I'm afraid I'm not gonna sleep. I'm gonna be running on caffeine, pure caffeine, constantly.
Yeah. What is sleep? I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
The Bang energy drinks, you could just hook an IV up to me because I live that. But yeah, sleep is not something I get. I get naps. I can cat nap for not a couple hours maybe. But other than that, that's about it. But and you're still early on, Rachel. Like it gets worse. Like it
Yeah.
for me at least. Like the farther I get into it, the busier it gets. And the more coursework, like I think they do that on purpose, so they kind of ease you into the hard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, here this year, which is I'm about 7 months from graduation or something like that. And for the past few months, it's been nonstop, pedal to the metal. And now I hear from Sam that we might have 2 classes again next month. So that
I think you just did a capstone class, right, Michelle? I think you just did a capstone class, right?
It was a project with logos and symbols that I did. This project is actually going to be in us for the next couple of months. I think it's supposed to be something we're in our portfolio. I guess it gets long. Like the portion I had showed you guys, that was stressful. And it was a lot of research, you know, the background work, you basically had to do that week. One of the things, it takes full 4 weeks, but no, you finalize it in that one. It was crazy.
Yeah, it sounded crazy.
It was.
So that's y'all's project and portfolio classes.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing, because that's what we have in audio. Is we have project and portfolio classes. We have 6 of them, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I think one of my classes next month, if I have 2, is one of those. So, which I'm actually looking forward to that, because my film music class is coming up, and I've been looking forward to that ever since I started, because that's actually what I want to do, is film music.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't done any of it yet. Like I've been looking forward to it, and I think they're saving it for the end, because giving me some incentive, something to look. So
Something to keep you going.
yes, yes, it's like if I just can't get to that class, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
I feel like part of the way they lay it out, they sprinkle those classes that are like this title and the description of it. People are going to be excited for it. So we have to like lay these out sparingly to keep their attention, to keep them in the degree program. Because I think for ours, for the graphic design, you can bail out at like an associate's, which I can't remember if that's 19 months or what, but I'm pretty sure they like sprinkle them out so you don't get like all of those at once and then you just like dive and drop out. That's how they keep you going through the madness.
Yeah, it's very intelligent how they've designed these degree programs, and I've noticed that this whole time I've been here. Like it's
Strategy.
and you'll have like one very, very labor intensive class, like you'll be nonstop, no sleep for like a whole week. Like for us, it's the music theory classes, like I was saying, like, and then after the music theory class, when you've worked that hard, the next class is so easy. Like, and there's almost nothing to do, and and so I swear they have to do that on purpose. They have to know like how many hours of deliver does it take for the deliverables for each class, and they design it to where it's not as bad on you, and you can make it through it. So I keep that in my mind whenever I get stressed, whenever I get bogged down. I'm like, I know that they have a plan for this, and I'm not going to be like this nonstop. So if I'm like this month, chances are next month is going to be easier. At least that's my faith.
Yeah.
I gotta have faith. That's what's gonna happen.
Wholesale faith, 100%.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, marketing is cool. Like I haven't met anybody in the marketing courses here yet. And y'all said it was digital marketing that y'all were in?
Oh, well, I'm in media communications, but we do touch up on digital marketing and just brand awareness and consumer awareness as well.
Media, because so you're perfect for a social media team. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they reached out to me, I was actually like praying for an opportunity to get my hands like in something before I left school. Because currently at my job, I've been, doing creative projects for them, for their clients, as well as to put on their social media platforms. But I didn't want that to be my only influence with applying what I'm learning at Full Sail. So when I was reached out by Shanta and Rachel, I was like, this is awesome. The best capacity, right now is for me to just like get my hands dirty with this.
Absolutely. Like I've been trying, like I said, I want to do film music. So I've been trying to get film students to work with. And it's hard. I think because there's these libraries that you can go to online where you can buy copyright free music that projects and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that people just get so used to using those that they don't bother with coming to a composer to do it.
Right.
But that kind of sucks, because it's like, that's what I want to do, and I can't find somebody to work with. So it's depressing.
Yeah. Well, my boyfriend graduated with a degree in cinematography from Full Sail. So he's doing right now. I was telling Rachel, like, he has a job offer with Rooster Teeth, but I didn't tell you guys, he actually was reached out to by Bungie for a potential job offer as well. But on his side projects, he likes to do little docu-series, and then he also likes to stream and stuff. So
That is perfect.
he has like an A7R3, he has another Sony camera, he knows all about Canons and stuff. So his cinematography background, and then I actually have a background in music. So when you're talking about music theory, I'm like, tell me more. Like I love music theory. I've been doing like oh, I understand the intensity of music theory. Trust me. I started doing music theory in 8th grade, and then I had to study it throughout high school because I have a background in classical with my clarinet, and then it transferred into vocals and songwriting and just composition, key signatures, you know, time signatures, all of that. It's crazy.
I started out, I guess, with this myopic view of what music theory was. And so, I learned like 7th and 9th chords, which I already kind of knew. And that was our first music theory class. And I'm like, there can't be a whole lot more than that. And then it went from that to 11th and 13th chords. And then I'm like, okay, so that's got to be it, right? But no, then there's another class comes, and now we have alt 9th chords and sharp 11th, 13th chords and non-chord tones and subdominant chords, and I'm just wow, like there's all this stuff, and all of I come to a realization this month in this last music theory class that there is basically a word for everything. Everything can be done, and all we're learning is vocabulary for it. Like know the word so that I can tell somebody, oh no, I'm using the alt 9th German chord or something.
Yes.
And that's all we're really learning. Like I can do anything I want to on my instrument. So it's not really like people say that there shouldn't be rules to it, especially if you're in like the subculture,
a creative space. Yeah.
And well, the rules only apply to the vocabulary, really.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can do everything you want to, but whatever you're doing, there's a name for that.
And I think the fun part about that is that the biggest thing we're learning from Full Sail is how to market ourselves using that vocabulary, showing that we know what we're doing, rather than just like, oh, hey, we can do this. And I think that's how it helps us with our careers in the future, is it's not just somebody blindly being like, okay, can you do this? We can show them and we can explain it to them. And I think that's one of the coolest parts of it.
Yeah, show how we know what we're doing.
Yeah, it's not limiting us, and they don't give us like any rules to be like, you have to do this in your field, like this is the way it's done. They're just like showing us how to do it the way that a lot of people do it, but then they leave it open for us to explore and expand on that, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like if you have like me as a musician, if I'm talking to somebody and we're auditioning them for a band, and they're talking to me about nonsense that I know is nonsense because I know the vocabulary, and then that kind of discredits them. And you're like, they sound like they think that they know what they're talking about when they don't. And that's where learning the vocabulary comes in. And that's what Full Sail really does best. Is I had to, once that clicked in my brain, I was like, this makes a whole lot more sense now, because now that I've gone through all of the music theory, I know that there's a name for everything. There's every configuration that I have on my instrument, there's a word for that. So it's just knowing what that word is.
Shapes us into the professionals we need to be to get jobs and everything.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Knocking on wood, everything.
Yes.
I asked this last time, but actually that whole episode didn't air. So I'd like to know what everybody wants to do, not just our degree programs, because our degree programs can encompass a lot of different jobs. So what I would like to know is what where we see ourselves in 5 years. What do you want to do after school? What's your point? What's your purpose for coming to school?
So I would like to be the Oprah Winfrey of nerd culture. I want to have like a platform where video game developers, anime storytellers, manga artists, everything nerd culture, they come and they talk about the releases, but I also want to leave it open to underground artists as well that aren't contracted with major developers or major productions, and just kind of really hone in on that authenticity that nerd culture has, because I've been watching anime since I was like 9 years old, and I used to get bullied for it, but now it's a lucrative industry. And my boyfriend and I, we love video games, and we used to get bullied for that too. Now everybody wants to do video games. So I just kind of want to have that platform where people just nerd out and they just want to talk about their Funko Pop collection or their figurine collection or things like that. Even voiceover artists and stuff, them coming out talking about projects that they have in the future. So yeah.
That'd be super cool.
Do you Twitch?
Not at the moment. I need my PC set up. That's what my boyfriend and I are working on, because we have consoles right now, but we would much rather just game with PCs because it's a better experience. But we have like a PS5, PlayStation 4, and an Xbox Series X, but that is our next goal to, get on Twitch and start streaming.
Twitch seems like a good platform for what you want to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I love to talk. I have a YouTube channel right now, but I've kind of been on hiatus working on getting all of my
Schooling.
setup and everything. Yeah, it's kind and schooling, just getting more experience. But Twitch, I watch Twitch with my boyfriend, and then we kind of just stay on top of like the hot topics in the culture and everything. So I have the material. It's just I kind of have to gather everything I need before I hop on board full time.
We might have to put together a show like what you're describing for Scholar TV, because I'm a nerd as well.
Nice.
I was a nerd before it was cool to be a nerd.
Yes.
And because I'm a huge comic book collector, I've got like 2,000 books in my collection out front. That's my thing is comic books.
Nice.
Anything Marvel comics, and I go to all the premieres of all the movies, all the shows, and so I am all about anything to do with Marvel. I'm not really big into anime. I just never really got into it. The last one I watched was I took my daughter to see what's the name of that? Kaijin Zero or something like that. It was in theaters here last month or something like that.
Oh, Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yes, that's it.
Yes. Oh, yes. I love Jujutsu Kaisen.
It was cool. Like I enjoyed it. I just never really got into the anime. The furthest I got, I watched what was it? Vampire Hunter D was as cool.
Oh yeah.
That's fun. I am old school animes. I was raised on like Sailor Moon and like Digimon, Pokemon, like the old school, not quite anime-esque things, and like Cowboy Bebop. My hubby actually introduced me into a lot of it because I grew up in Omaha, so you'd think big city, I have a lot of access to it. My parents were the type to be like, I'm not sure what that is, and my friends tell me that's foreign, and because we're older, we're gonna assume it's inappropriate, so we're not gonna allow that anymore. So husband came around and he got me an Xbox, and it was my first like game system other than the plug-in Ataris. So like I loved it from like day one. I would read the manga and everything at like school library and everything, but it was like hidden, under the blanket, so parents don't stuff until hubby
with the flashlight.
Yes. And then it was just like, he's like, hey, here's an Xbox, here's access to this stuff, and I'm like, and so it was kind of like that dorky. Not only was it like picked on at school, but also you had to hide it from your parents type thing. It was hilarious.
Yeah, my dad didn't understand what anime was. My mom was interested in it because I grew up on Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z. I didn't have cable like the cool kids. I had regular TV. So Dragon Ball Z came on at 7 a.m. before school, and it also came on at 3 p.m. when school ended. So I was like, I'm going to catch my shows. And then I also was able to watch Dragon Ball later on with my brother. We went through the entire series, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and we're caught up on Dragon Ball Super, waiting for the new new stuff to drop as the anime. So I started getting interested and I was like, what are some other things that, I can watch? And then of course in high school, I had a friend that was introducing me to all types of stuff. And she had scrolls of Bleach.
Yep.
She had Death Note. She had like everything. And she was also into like collecting manga as well. And then my boyfriend, he's been nerding out on anime since he was a kid. He would watch it on Adult Swim. So
Yep.
he got me interested in Crunchyroll, which is like a huge database of anime. And he was like, and Funimation, and they actually just acquired Funimation. So everything on Funimation is on Crunchyroll now. So he was like, babe, don't get on animeme.com, get on Crunchyroll, here you go, here's the login, just have fun.
Yeah.
So, and then we go to the expos and stuff all the time together and we dress up in cosplay. So
do we.
Yeah.
Speaking of animes and Rooster Teeth, do you guys watch Ruby then?
He's watched Ruby. I have not. That is something that I've wanted to watch. I haven't gotten on it yet. I have so many that I have to finish and catch up on, but it is on my list. I am familiar with it though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I'm pretty sure Rooster Teeth is the ones who created it. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So Blake, she's one of the main characters, one of the first four you'll meet and everything. And she is amazing. I met the voice actor at Chicago Comic-Con, so C2E2, a few years back, and she was so sweet. I got to take pictures with her and got like signed stuff. Like it wasn't one of those things like you're supposed to pay for it, but it was kind of chaotic. They were really new, so not a lot of people knew about them. And I went up there just like completely losing my mind. I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, do you want a hug? And I'm like,
yes.
It was so cool. And so like that's one of the stories I'll forever hold on to, is just like how sweet and how like down to earth everybody from Rooster Teeth has been, at least for me personally, meeting them. So super cool that your fiance gets to work there. So
it's such a blessing. And I'm just grateful for whatever he's going to learn from Rooster Teeth. Like, and he's kind of still fanboying himself. Like I said, he's been with that since Red versus Blue. So the fact that he's so he's like, I still can't believe it. I'm in their Slack channel. So it's crazy.
Nerd culture is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's so inclusive too. Like it's really, really awesome, the community they have.
Dude, for sure.
Because we were all picked on when we were kids. So
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Have you seen speaking of Dragon Ball, have you seen some of the fan art and stuff that's been put out for a live action Dragon Ball Z film project?
Some of the fan art I've seen on Instagram, I think that I think they're pulling reference from like the manga and stuff like that. Some of it is really cool, honestly. I'm kind of just interested in it.
Yeah, a lot of times that's how these projects develop, is these producers will see a really good concept that's just been done by fan art, and then they go from there. So that would be interesting if they one of the ones I saw had Samuel L. Jackson playing who's the green guy with the antennas?
Piccolo.
Yeah, that's Samuel Jackson in his role, and that just looked weird.
See,
that was my reaction when I saw Will Smith as the genie. I'm like, that fits. That's cool. I respect that, but also just the shock value of just like being so used to these people playing certain characters and then seeing them transfer over into nerd culture, into like a cosplay type thing, is so fun. Oh my gosh, I love it. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I enjoy it.
So what do you want to do after college, Rachel?
Me personally, I am kind of open. Like originally starting out going to Full Sail, I was working on projects for a ton of friends back home, and I was always doing like just anything under the sun. I've designed tattoos, paintings, wood art, just all sorts of random stuff my whole life. Everybody's like, oh, she's an artist, she does things, and then like I do things for people. And I felt bad charging anybody anything for it, but I've always loved creating things, so I never had a problem doing it. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to make stuff for people. But then I realized, you get older, you get out on your own, and you need money to pay for like all the things that are required to live. So I'm like, okay, if I feel guilty because I'm not trained or anything in this, then I can go get trained. Let's go do this. So I was working on an art project, and I saw an ad for Full Sail, and I decided to call them and just ask them questions. And then they kept calling me like every day for 2 months. And they're like, oh, let's try it out. And I'm like, no, I could never afford it. Like I tried going to school. So a little bit about me, my husband and I, we moved out as teenagers because of our family situation and everything. So we started out very young, no money, did not have money for college. Part of the reason he joined the Air Force was so he could get his schooling for free and everything when he decides to go. Which I think he started going for computer like networking and administration, but his college got shut down. He was going to ITT Tech. I can't remember if he wants to go back for that or game design or game development. He has a whole storyline written out for a video game that he wants to get created someday. But basically, I figured if I went to Full Sail and it worked out, I could help him with that and just whatever I wanted to do, kind of like an entrepreneur thing afterwards, just following whatever creative paths come my way. And I'm pretty excited about that because one, I would love to work for Rooster Teeth or Bungie or anybody, but I don't really want to be like partnered with anyone specifically. So one of my favorite photographers actually just works for like Disney, Marvel, Fox, whoever she feels like it at the time, and does graphics and digital media for them. And I'm like, if I could do that, I would just be so excited all the time. And I think that would be like the funnest way to live, is just so excited all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's my little spiel.
And there's a lot of people out there, myself included, that got thrown into life roughly as a teen.
Yep.
I was actually thrown out of my mom's house as soon as she was legally able to when I was 17, and because I was a bad kid, to say the least. And I've grown up now, but at the time, I went in the military because it was my only option.
Yep.
And that taught me everything that I needed to come home and get up and go to work every day, and that self-discipline that we need as adults. But it took that in order to teach me that, because I wasn't learning that when I was at home. How about you, Michelle? What do you want to do after school? She's frozen.
Oh no, I thought it was maybe just me.
There she is.
Well, of course, I started full because I wanted to work for all-time Disney. Love Disney which I still do. I think I wanted to do more of like anime because I grew up drawing. I used to see my brother draw all the time. So of course I tracing, and then I kind of up how to draw, little tutorial books. Been drawing ever since. But now going through all the different things, I kind of don't just want myself to like, so therefore I did graphic design. I started getting into photography a little bit, like branding, like creative logos. That's really to me. I kind of hope I can logo for somebody. While in the process, trying to create a brand myself, because I'm kind of dabbling into creative outlets that I like. Like I created my little fitness website that so I my own logo kind of thing that with the photography. I feel like my big time to shine right now during Halloween. And I used to not really like Halloween, but like I love Halloween because I do like face, body paint, makeup, and then I kind of outfits. I kind of create my own little storyline of my last Halloween, when like pictures and like those specific Halloween themed, and really enjoyed that. So I'm thinking about a little cinematography as well, but can't really get that through my course because we only get like an intro of everything. So that's something I gotta do extra on the side, which I really wish we did get another photography course because I want to learn how to use my camera. But
agreed.
Yeah, right now I don't really have a plan because I just can't get myself to just doing one thing. I just kind of anything creative.
Well, here, as far as the learning extra stuff outside of the focus of our degree program, and I can relate to that because we have two paths in audio arts. We have music production and we have audio production. And music production, which is what I'm in, is more of composition. It's more writing stuff and music theory. Audio production is making it sound the best. That means EQing and mixing and stuff like that. We don't have a whole lot of that in my program because, like I said, my program is more about composition. So I found out along the way that I'm not very good at mixing, or I wasn't very good at mixing. So one thing I did was I went to LinkedIn, the LinkedIn learning site, and I started doing these programs on my own because we all have access to LinkedIn.
Yeah, Full Sail.
And there's literally video on everything. When I first started Full Sail in 2016, we actually used a lot of those programs in our coursework. So I mean, I would encourage you to do that if you wanted to. Like, I'm sure there's stuff about your camera and you know, cinematography and stuff like that on LinkedIn Learning that you could do on the side, and that just give you those chops, you know. But oh, what else was I gonna say? I completely lost my train of thought.
I'm glad I'm not the only one doing that. That's one of the fun things I love about how open these meetings are, is we can just lose our train of thought and it's not as big of a word.
Yeah,
Like, it's okay. It's just us.
if I pause for too long, I can just edit it out. So.
Yeah, it's all good. Oh, speaking of audio and stuff, before I forget, have you guys heard of 12 Tone on YouTube when it comes to like music and stuff? Okay.
12 Tone?
Yeah, 12 Tone. It's a channel.
Oh, no.
Okay, so one of my friends showed me this. It's actually this guy who goes through the theories behind like a musical masterpiece, right? So he does the Black Parade as one of them, and I don't know how many people are MCR fans. If you could see my wall, I have an MCR flag, and it's amazing. Like, obviously, I have my NSCS background here, but I love MCR. I am one of those people. It's okay. I am coming to terms with people who called me emo weren't exactly wrong. Like, for years I was called that, and I'm like, no, like, quit picking on me, crap. Like, no, I promise, I'm just me, it's fine. Yeah, looking back, it's okay. They had it. But yeah, so one of my friends.
How excited were you? How excited did you get when you heard that they were doing their reunion?
Oh my God, I cried like a baby. Like, back when they did the 10-year anniversary and they just re-released the album with some stuff that they hadn't released before, I bought that immediately. Like, I was like, I don't care that I'm working 2 jobs to live on my own with my boyfriend at this time. I am still spending the extra $60 to get the flag and the CD and everything. Even though it was just a re-release, like, I cried about that. I was so excited. I am a dork when it comes to that. But anyway, so my friend shared with me this video from 12 Tone, and it talks about why that song specifically is such a masterpiece, and talks about the minors and the theories between how it's like a musical opera, that whole album.
Yes, absolutely.
It talks about it, and it just explains so much. And I play guitar, piano, drums, everything. Like, I was a musical kid growing up, and I just love music and playing it, and I've never really dove into that. So, like, understanding that was such a mind-blowing experience to me, and like finding that channel and being able to go through and listen to them talk about and dissect all of these musical masterpieces and the theories behind the albums. It's so fun. If you guys haven't checked out 12th Tone, I recommend their videos. It's so cool.
I have to check that out. It's so crazy because my boyfriend plays Final Fantasy 14, and I literally geek out with their musical just everything musical, and he'll literally be sitting there. He's like, babe, what instruments are in this? And I'll like close my eyes and incline my ear, and I'll tell him, like, pick all the instruments out, and then I'll even explain what I'm getting, the message, the storyline, the communication that's happening. Like, you have these instruments that are saying this, and then you have these instruments that are responding, and the percussion is driving it, or the violins are singing to the woodwinds. And I just geek out with stuff like that. So I love doing that.
Okay, I
Yeah.
included the link in the chat because I'm glad I'm not the only one, but I'll just sit
You're
there and
not.
do that. Or like with images and stuff, like when I see Michelle or Angel or anybody in our group create things, I sit there and I just look at it, and 9 times out of 10, I'm stunned. And then the other 1%, I have no words. It's like sometimes I can explain it, and then other times I'm just like, wow. But like I'll look at it and like I'm the type of person, like a creative, that tries to figure out how people make things. I like to try and understand things. Like my husband works on cars and he'll have me help, and I'm like, cool, I'll try and understand it. But like for me, it's just a whole bunch of magic. Everything is like, I like to look at things as if they're magic. I'm kind of a dork like that. Um, but it's just so cool to realize that there are people who thought these things out and created these things and made these things, whether they understood it or not, and how much deeper some of this goes and how it affects everybody. And just, yeah, and art
Yeah.
and music and
I
it's
feel the same way. I feel the same way. Yeah, like I like to understand the backstory behind someone's creation because that's inspiring to me. It's like you giving birth. Like you went through that creation. You went through that process of, you know, having that built within you and to have it come out so creatively and fluidly. Like you're awesome for that. You know, like I'm blessed to even be a part of that experience. So yeah, I do the same thing. I love that.
Yep. Speaking of like creations and stuff and like nerd culture and just everything all together, D&D, huge for me. So knowing that Full Sail like is into all of this too with us, like did you guys know that Full Sail has like Gary Gynax's stuff at, like they have a hall at Full Sail at campus for that? Anybody else know
No,
that?
I didn't know that.
For what?
Yeah. So Gary Gynax, I'm not sure how to say his last name, D&D, they have like dice and stuff at Full Sail in a hall dedicated to them, because I'm pretty sure, I can't remember exactly the story, but he was somehow involved with the school before he passed away. Same with like Doom
know
and
what?
everything. Go ahead.
It's like a display, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
In the hall.
I saw that when I went down for Hall of Fame. I didn't know what it was.
Google Career Certificates provide.
Yeah.
I
Sorry,
got scared there. I got scared there for a second. I thought we got spammed.
yeah. That might have been the link I sent for you guys. But yeah, no, I've always been super into just like people being creative and just living however they want to live. Like I grew up knowing about D&D, and so I didn't really get to play it for a long time because we didn't know many people who would play with us, but my dad had like the first and second edition. So when it came to like school and we had to do a report on something we enjoyed, I chose D&D, and then I got to like cosplay to school for like an entire week. It was amazing
Cool.
because I got extra credit for it. I'm like, yes, art culture for the win.
Nice.
Tying in school stuff. So just seeing creatives get to do stuff they enjoy is super cool to me, and I hope one day I get to see all of you guys in the Hall of Fame. I doubt I will ever get there because I'm too spontaneous, but I've seen what you guys can do and I'm excited.
Don't say that, because when I was down there and I met a lot of the people that were, speaking and stuff to us from from past inductees and stuff. There's a lot of people. There's a story for everything.
That's
no
true.
matter what your background is, and what your motivations and your goals are. I'm sure there is one inductee that you can find that has a similar background and
Yeah.
And that's really cool too. I love how they have that at our school, to where we can see people who went there who have actually done things and made it. And I think it gives me like a whole new sense of hope of like, hey, if they got through this and they did that, I can do something too. Like I always worry like I'm gonna go get this degree and like nothing's gonna come of it. Like, oh cool, yeah, now I have a certificate that says I'm a creative human. What does that do for me? Like, people go and get these like English degrees, whatever, and sometimes they don't always get to use it, and then it just becomes a certificate that you have, a really expensive certificate. And I always worry about that, but then seeing the Hall of Fame and everything is just like reinvigorating. Just like, okay, it does do things. It has helped people achieve this stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you get out of it what you put into it.
That's true.
I have a friend of mine from right here where I live that went to full. He actually started after I started in 2016 at Full Sail, and I took a break for family reasons. But he got his bachelor's and master's and he's done nothing with it.
Dang.
But here's the thing: I went and I looked at his all of his social media and stuff, how he marketed himself. His LinkedIn, he's followed nobody. He has built he hasn't built his network at all.
Hmm.
His Facebook, what he's trying to do is he's trying to open up a recording studio here in Columbia, South Carolina, and there's no market here for that.
So you'd really have to brand yourself and really publish that everywhere.
And they
You'd
teach
have
us
to
how
talk
to
to
do that.
them.
They teach us how to do that, but
Yeah.
that stuff isn't like as stressed as far as our grades and everything goes. So we can pass our degree with the bare minimum and get our degree with doing the bare minimum and have built nothing as far as portfolio goes. So it's not going to do any good if we don't do anything with it. If we don't have the ambition and the drive, and us being scholars, the reason we're here right now is because we have that drive, because we want to excel in all of this, and networking is the best thing for us to do. And I saw that when I went to his LinkedIn, and I saw that he's followed nobody on LinkedIn, and that's another thing I encourage for you guys. If you guys aren't into the LinkedIn stuff, LinkedIn that's where the entire industry is.
Dude.
Any of these job programs that any of these jobs that we want to do in the creative arts, all of them, all of the people who work in all the positions, they're all on LinkedIn. Literally go in there, and it might start slow, like just follow the people that you're in school with and stuff, but eventually, like right now, I think I have like over 700 followers, and people that my network is like over 700 people.
That's cool.
And you just build that up to where it's it's like Facebook, but it's not, because it's not about drama and posting memes. Who's working for who and who's hiring and etc. So LinkedIn is very important. Building our network and networking with each other is very important in our success. Because if we don't do that, chances are we're not going to go anywhere with our degree, because we're not going to have marketed ourselves. We don't know how to put ourselves out there. So that's why I joined the NSCS to begin with, because I was like, this will give me a chance to network with all of the students who are excelling in school,
and in other degrees too. Like that's the biggest thing for me, is just having people that are in my degree sharing this experience, so we can all be like, okay, we're not crazy, and get through it together. And then also find people who we can use our skills with, like communications or audio. Like if you guys need visuals, here you go, you've got us. And then like for us, for visuals, if we need audio to like connect with that for our videos and everything. I just think it's really cool how we can all help each other in these different industries, but still work together.
So Michelle, when you start working for Disney or Pixar or something, and you need music, you know who to come to. I want to do it.
Yes, there you go.
So speaking of which, like what I want to do after school, like I already said, I want to do film music. But I also that is I don't want to call it like a pipe dream, because I know it's attainable. But that's the long game, because to do composition work in film, you have to have a lot of stuff under your belt, and it's I don't want to say it's luck, but a lot of it's who you know and getting in that position. So that's not feasible as far as paying my bills when I get out of school. So what I want to do is, when I finish Full Sail next February, I'm going to transfer to the University of South Carolina, right down the road from me, and get my Master's of Arts in Teaching and be a music teacher. Because that's another passion of mine, is teaching kids, because I can really, because I'm a little kid inside, so I can relate and I can, it's all in finding a way to reach them on their level. And I'm really good at that. So that's what I want to do, is be a music teacher. And that's why you guys are going to see in the fall, I'm going to be pushing PACE really, really hard as far as the NSCS. I want to get somebody in PACE chair, which is the planning to achieve collegiate excellence. It's the NSCS program, outreach program to high school and middle school students.
Yep.
And I'm going to be pushing that. That's going to be my little pet project come fall.
Yeah. We need an officer to take that spot because that's an awesome spot to have.
Yeah, we're gonna need to recruit somebody for that because I mean I'm gonna do it regardless.
Mhm.
But having somebody that can take the helm of that will be really cool if we can do that.
Yep.
But so yeah, that's gonna be something I'm gonna do in the fall. Because it not only will it and this is a little, I don't want to call it selfish because we all have to make business decisions as far as how we're going to plan our plan of attack for as we graduate. And that's kind of part of mine is if I can work with my daughter's middle school or the local high school here with through PACE and the NSCS, get those letters of recommendation from me doing that, I can give those to the University of South Carolina when I apply for the master's degree program next year. And that'll get me in the door there. So it's kind of a yin and yang thing. Like I'm helping because I want to help. I want to help these kids, encourage them to get into school, especially kids who are creative like us. Because a lot of people don't think that what we want to do is real jobs, you know. And I want to dispel that whole thought. So yeah, encourage them to come in and get into school and further their education at the same time. Cut my teeth in the education side and the academic side, so that I can further my own ambitions when I go to USC next year. So that's my goals. Because I'm rooted here. I don't know about you guys, but you know, one of the things I'm afraid of is I'm hearing the word internship pop up a lot the closer I get to graduation. And oh, you can do an internship, but internships 9 times out of 10 aren't paid. I have a family and a mortgage, and I can't afford to do that. So that's just not an option for me. I can't go to California for 2 months and leave my family here with no way to pay bills. It's just not going to happen. So I had to figure out how I was going to do that, how I was going to use my degree where I'm at. And I'm not going to go like my buddy and try to open up a recording studio in a city with no recording industry. I'm going to go to the academic side and try to get into teaching because we need teachers everywhere.
Oh yeah.
So
Something cool with that, back home in Iowa, we actually had teachers who would do recordings who had a background in recording for the school, so we could enter like statewide competitions and stuff. And then they'd use that to help enter things like applying for the May Day parade or applying for like these opportunities that aren't just awesome for like using your recording and stuff, but also awesome for getting these kids to be able to experience things that they never thought of, to help inspire them to chase those dreams and everything. So it's cool
so
ambition to have.
important, especially like here where I'm at. I mean, I've learned, especially when I was in the military, and I got to see like how, because I lived in Washington State for a little bit. I lived in Missouri. I've lived in Korea, you know, all over the place, and I see that everybody's realities is subjective to wherever you live. But here in South Carolina, there's a very closed-minded mindset, especially when it comes to things like the arts. People don't see them as jobs. Like, you know, you don't see, if you tell somebody I'm a musician, you basically told them that you don't have a job, that you live with roommates and you don't do anything but eat ramen, and you're not ever going to go anywhere with your life.
I wish we could send them to Full Sail because that would fix that.
Let's see, that's what, and that's what I want to, when I start working with getting us involved with PACE with these high schools and middle schools. I want to help curb that. You know? Now look, there's this college is we're all producers of art. We're all,
Yep.
and what is the saying that they say at Full Sail? If you believe in your dream, what was that? What's that quote that they use?
Oh, here, let me pull it up. I'm actually on the website. So
Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, if you're crazy enough to believe in your dream, we're like crazy enough to help you get there, or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and find it out. I'm not sure where it is on the website.
We
But
need to make a one of the motivational Monday posts with that quote,
yes,
because that would be really cool.
if you're serious about your dream, we'll take your dreams seriously. That's the quote.
Perfect. Yep. There you go. That's it. Yeah.
I'm
We
gonna put that as a note for Motivation Monday.
Yeah, exactly. We should make a graphic for that. That'd be awesome.
Is that legal though? Do they have that copyrighted?
No, you can say that. That's just a phrase.
Okay, cool. Cool. I'm writing that down. That'll help us.
I mean, I think we had a pretty good meeting today. If you guys want to wrap this up, I'm game.
Works for me. Hopefully this can help you with your content.
Yeah, I'll edit it all out. Now this will be our show Wednesday.
Cool.
But I also want to plan future shows. Like I like the idea of us doing a little nerd hour there, Stephanie.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome, because I've actually been looking for people to like collab with, to just have like that creative conversation with, and then even kind of loop my boyfriend in somehow. But I'm just kind of like, how would I do that? I mean, I have my Yeti mic and all of that, like for talking and stuff. So that would be awesome.
What we should do is start a D&D campaign. Okay. I have the rule books and stuff too. Like I actually prefer Vampire Masquerade. That's my thing. And I run a campaign. I'm a storyteller for Vampire myself on Saturday nights. That's what we do here at my house.
I love that.
But I can do D&D. D&D is awesome. But yeah, we could do that and do it through Zoom and then record it, and then we could have that as a show sometime too. I'm trying to do fun stuff like this because people need to see us. If we want our members to engage with us, they need to see us having fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not just about the business of the day.
Yeah, like they get to come to the general meeting, but that's all business. I wish we were more open with like our fun things. Like I think the social hour, yes, it's a meeting for our social team, but that's only like what, 20 minutes. And the last hour we've just been getting to know each other and chill and vibe and know that we're not alone. And I don't know, I just love it so much. I'm glad I joined.
Yeah. It's cool. Like, and this is like I said, this is why I joined NSCS to begin with, was to network. Because the networking thing, that's the biggest benefit to the honor society to me. And I want to promote that. So that's my goal as vice president. So, but anyway, I enjoyed talking to you guys, and anybody in the watching the video, like and subscribe, leave any comments below, and we will see you guys next week. Awesome.
Bye.
I appreciate it.